How have you been?
Yeah, been super busy, been good. Obviously, the team's pumping at the moment. Guys are good. I'm doing good. Yeah, just fucking chasing the dreams at the moment, bro.
Love it, bro. Is it better than
Yeah.
last month?
Yeah, last month. No, you know what? Like last month was good in terms of like I went to Bali with the team. I got invited out there. You know, I got to meet everybody I'm working with. Made some proper good connections with the team as well. Already
Sick.
now starting this month, there's a lot better synergy. So
Yes.
yeah, it's already pumping. We're getting a lot more business done, if I can say, and the guys are flying at the moment.
Sick, bro. That's what we love to hear. How did you find Bali?
Bali was amazing, dude. Hot as hell, hot as hell. It's like Durban on a bit of steroids, you know. But it's good. It was sick. I did end up. I had one little mishap, you know. I had one night that was a bit too good and ended up having my phone stolen. But you know, you live and you learn.
You live and you learn, bro. I think it's the best of both worlds here, but it's fucking hot. If I
Yes,
excuse
no,
my French, like,
it's terrible, dude.
bro, I played a game of paddle now, like an hour and a half game, like at this indoor court with no fans.
Oh
Bro,
my
like
god.
by the time I was done playing, my whole pants was like wet. You know, like when you can take your pants
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
drench the sweat out of it. It
Well, I
was
got home.
ridiculous.
I'm 4 kgs lighter, so I was there
Yes.
for I was there for
So
like a
this is
week.
something
So
crazy. I told my, well, now it's my fiance, but when I came here in 2024, bro, I was 96 kilo. When I
sure.
went back to Cape Town, I was 89.
No ways.
Yeah. I
Jeez
just think people
Louise.
lose weight here.
No, no, heavy. I mean, we went for a walk in Ubud, one of the ridges, and I lost 2.5 kgs on a 2-hour walk straight. I mean, bro, it wasn't. There were no heels. It's a straight bloody walk. You're just walking around. No heels. I'm not working hard. Yes, it was terrible, but I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
Amazing. What was like your favorite like part of it, being here? Like, what did you like
Um,
about being here that we can't get back in South Africa?
so to be fair, I mean, this is me personal. I don't know if it would be for anybody else. So I was always scared of two wheels, right? Bikes, you name it, whatever it was. And I was always never going to go on them. And obviously that's how you motor around in Bali.
Yeah.
So experiencing a bike for me was sick, or scooter rather. So I finally got on some two wheels. But for me, it was the people, how grateful they are, the locals. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the country is in a massive, like, upbuild scale at the moment with all the foreigners coming in and taking over. But, like, the locals, how grateful they are for life, you know. Like, you give them a small little tip, which to you is really means nothing. To them it means everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, for me that was like a big thing for me, because I was also looking at it if it could be a place that I could live, leave SA and do something. And
Yeah.
yeah, the trip did tell me that I probably could, 100%. So I'll definitely be looking that into my future.
100%. There's lots of people who come out here and stay here like 6, 7, 8, 9 months of the year, for sure.
100%.
And it's a good tax haven as well. I don't know exactly how to set it up, but I believe there's ways, to set it up where you can
Yeah,
get
yeah,
damn near to 0% on tax.
yeah. No,
Uh, I don't know how
we'll see how
expensive
that
it is,
goes.
free, but it's a hot spot. I think I was going to touch on what you were saying there, then we can jump into things. There's no better place to learn how to drive two wheels than fucking here.
Fucking 100%,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. No, well, I crashed twice. I crashed twice. Um, I nearly went straight. Oh my god, bro! I think on day two, because I was like very heavy throttle. And day two, I'm leaving my guest house and I over throttle on the dip of the road. I nearly fucked off into a rice paddy. Oh my
Jeez.
god, bro! The farm even comes to me and is like, if you break my rice off, I'll hurt you. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
No, but
I
it
had
was
the
good, bro.
same.
It
I
was good.
also I crashed when I was here last, but like
Yeah.
not actually while driving, bro. I was just parked, but like parked right by a ditch. And someone
Oh my
called me, but I was already locked out. So I was like, "What's happening?" And I I accelerated
Shit.
straight into the like the cliff, bro, and like the bike was
Oh
on top of my
no.
chest. It was like a miracle. I walked out with like no
No
scratches, like
scratches.
completely fine, but it could have
Oh
gone
my
like,
god.
it could have landed funny, it broke my shin or
Straight.
so.
Straight, bro.
Yeah,
Nah, but all good, bro. It was great.
amazing, bro. Love to hear that. So for those watching, Logan went out for a team trip with his company to Bali. That's essentially what we had a brief discussion around now. I think this is a good part or a good section just to pivot into getting things rolling here, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, Logan's a machine. Logan's a legend. He started with us. I believe he started in Jan, correct? Or Feb? It was
Yeah, I'd
Feb.
say Feb. Probably like
Yeah.
2 days left of Jan.
Yeah, exactly. So Logan started with us around about February. He was absolutely grafting, coming to every single coaching call. Guy's definitely built for this industry. He comes from a sales background as well. You've been in sales for a very long time. You've sold the likes of many different types of things. Mainly, I believe you have a lot of experience in insurance and telesales. You've even managed, multiple reps under you. So Logan does have a really good sales background. It's funny that a lot of these calls I'm doing are with people with sales backgrounds. A lot of other people are not as open to doing them without the sales background. So
Yeah,
you
100%.
don't need a sales background. I think Logan can be first to tell you that, but definitely helped him out a ton and definitely knew the ropes prior to doing this, hence, the fast progression. But Logan's landed a role for a really good company. Definitely had to earn his stripes starting out. I believe probably even, he's still in the process of earning his stripes, but in a position in a company where there's huge scope for growth and he's on an amazing trajectory. But that's enough of me. By the way, bro, you originally born, raised, you live in Johannesburg, correct?
Born and raised from the east rand of Johannesburg, so it doesn't get more harder than that. Yeah. No,
Amazing
fully South
stuff.
African.
Amazing. Sweet, bro. Well, look, like jumping into it, for everyone who's watching, do you want to just introduce yourself as a little bit, like your name,
Yeah,
if you want, your
yeah,
age, and what you were doing prior to getting into high ticket sales, joining, say, the syndicate?
for sure. Yeah, so my name's Logan Mills. I'm 24, turning 25 this year. When I left school, I went straight into sales. I got a job into insurance. I did customer service for the beginning of starting there for a few months and was actually asked to move into a sales team based on just the way that I talk, hold myself on phone etiquette more specifically. And yeah, from there onwards, I was sales for about 4 years, directly insurance, call center, cold calling, which was a absolute nightmare, dialing plus 200 to 300 calls a day and trying to just get a deal closed every single day, which was quite low ticket. But in South Africa, insurance is no requirement, so you kind of hit and miss and hope and pray. Anyways,
Yeah.
I left the company after 3 years. I was a top salesman for the company, and it did seem like probably became a bit too much of a cost to the company. But I went and tried hygiene. I tried eco-friendly spaces. That was door-to-door sales. Obviously, a lot more difficult, a lot more cutthroat, and a lot more where the customer's not shy to tell you off, right?
Yeah.
A fuck off is a fuck off, my French. But yeah, then I went back into insurance. I got headhunted to become a sales trainer, where I used to manage teams of 30 people on a monthly basis, moving into a bit more niche when I went to a different company. But yeah, so I do have quite a vast sales background, but it was very call center related. Getting into the online high ticket space was purely from Sebastiano. He spoke the language I wanted to hear. He was genuine, he was real, he was authentic, and he had a no bullshit approach that come in, change your life as a South African. It wasn't a get rich quick program. It was, you're South African, you can make dollar, there's a lot more money. And it was, from the outset, he had said, you will eat shit. Don't act like you're not going to eat shit. This is still a job at the end of the day. You ain't walking into money grown on trees, which is something South Africans still wish every day for. But it was something that you had to work towards, something that you had to better yourself on. And yeah, getting into the high ticket space, it took me some time to find a role. But I said to Sebastiano, I didn't want to get a quick role. I wanted to find something that was up my alleyway. I wanted to find something that was also going to challenge me, which is the role that I ended up getting, which is, again, like he mentioned, a strong role where the OTE is a bit higher, the growth is very high. And now starting my third month with the company. So month one was a very tough month in terms of there was a lot to learn, and there was a big ramp-up period. Month two, a lot better. Obviously, went to Bali, got to learn and meet my entire team, see their workflow, see how they operated, see how they did everything, learned the language of my founder, and just how to handle myself better. And yeah, starting now already month three, I have already crossed the line of what I've done in both my first 2 months, and we are on day 4 of the month. So the trip itself has proven a lot for my confidence, for my expertise, and just for what I dish out. Based on my performances, I mean, I'm not the person to blow smoke up my own arse, but fuck it, you know, I've only been in the industry 5 months. But yeah, I've been promoted to lead setter for the team. I'm the only one handling his LinkedIn and IG account at the moment, and the rest of the setters just maintain ManyChat. So that for me is a personal confidence booster for myself, to know that what I have been doing, the work I've put in, is getting noticed. And to be fair, it started with the drive that Set Syndicate, which is now Sales Syndicate, drove into me. So fully appreciate what you did for me from the beginning.
Anytime, bro. I appreciate that a lot, and you gave a lot to chew off there. So you're answering already a lot of questions, but amazing, bro, and it's well deserved. You know, I think we had that phone call where I essentially just said to you, like, a lot of companies, because you were like, man, they're giving me a tough time.
Yeah.
Like, is this like I'm actually shit, or they're like just really trying to, you know, get me,
Test me.
you know, yeah, test you. That's the word I'm looking for. And I said, yeah, they're just testing you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
just
you actually,
character.
when I came to it, was more because, I mean, I was finishing up my first month, and I was, you know, doing a lot of like reps, genuinely, compared to the team that I was working with. I know I was doing a lot more reps than some of the guys, and I was just getting slack from it. But finding out, I spoke to Sebastiano, and he said, bro, just eat the shit. Like, they're probably just testing you. And knowing that, obviously approached it in a better direction, knowing I also had a bit more of a sales background. I did come to find out the other guys in the team had no sales background. I mean, the one guy was a medical student, and the other one was just a high school dropout, to be honest with you. So I also look back at myself to be like, okay, well, I have come in here with a lot of sales background, so they've given me a pedestal to stand on. And yeah, it did me justice. Those other 2 guys ended up actually having to leave the company, so it speaks volume.
Amazing, bro. 100%. 100%. And it's good to see the progression. I'm going to ask one more question, and then you've already answered a few, so then we can kind of
Yeah,
progress
sorry,
a bit
bro.
further from there. But no, that's fine. And then we can sort of go into some other questions. But before jumping into sort of like the meat and bones, what made you like finally decide to take action on something like Set a Syndicate or just high ticket sales in general? Like, what was the, you know, thing that made you decide let's give this a shot?
So, I mean, work-wise, I was tired of the corporate space. You know, I had been in it for so long. I'd grown to a very good point, but my growth was so capped. Being 24, I probably had to give another six years till I was in my 30s to actually go for something that was going to be worthwhile, like a higher management role. And the corporate space, as we know, South Africans, you still capped at a very high limit. I did leave sales, I mean, to become a sales trainer, so commission wasn't in my way anymore. But when I came across your stuff online, I always did want to get back into the sales industry. I always did want to get back into commission. But the problem was South African commission is not what you read normal commission to be about. And I've spoke with a lot of mates before, and we'd always said, oh, the unlock in this country is finding a way to make a different currency and earn in that currency while living in South Africa still. And that was, I think, the first 10 seconds of the ad I came across of yours. And I literally just thought, I was like, you know what, I spoke to my mate about this maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, my phone is obviously listening to me, and it threw me your ad. And you know, in South Africa, we've got a lot of people that always play that if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But how
Yes.
many people actually take the chance to prove that it was too good to be true? So I thought, you know what? Stuff the haters, stuff the people that are stuck in the same rabbit hole, the same people on the hamster wheel that they just keep grinding in their corporate offices. And I went for it. And, you know, people like, Logan, you're going to get scammed. And I was like, why am I getting scammed? I've spoken to a real person. It's an online thing. The world has gone online. You know, and I got involved with Setter Syndicate. I saw it was no bullshit, like I already said. It was no get-rich-quick program. It was grind, learn, apply, carry on. Grind, learn, apply, carry on. And I mean,
100%.
look at me now, bro. I'm starting my 3rd month, and I'm making more money than I ever did for my corporate businesses.
100%, bro. It's always like that one saying, like rather try and fail rather than like live with regret. I don't know the
Hmm.
exact saying, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
rather see
100%.
than like live with what ifs.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
because I've been scammed, bro. Everyone gets scammed. Like
100%.
it's just
But that's
part.
why
It's
you got
part.
to do your due diligence.
Yeah, it's part of it though. Like you're gonna, you know, but the beauty is with investing in yourself is like you may invest into like two. I've been fortunate, like only like twice has been bad out of like 10 times. You may invest in yourself 10 times, five are crap, four are right, and then one is so good that it just gives such crazy results that it outweighs everything tenfold. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Um, but that's sick, bro. Love to hear it. Well, sweet. You already walked through like what was your life like, you know, prior to you know working with us. I think you kind of also touched on what you were struggling with most prior to joining. That was sort of just figuring out how to, you know, arbitrage the gap between like
Yeah.
rand and earning a foreign currency. And then in addition to that, um, you wanted to get back into commission. But with that said, what
Mm.
had you tried anything else like to earn a foreign currency? Had you
No.
done
So
anything that
I
and
was
yeah, you can go ahead.
to
So
yeah,
I'm
so no,
stuttering.
all good. Sorry, bro. To be open with you, like I was always against trading. Trading was never something that I was interested in. Uh, for me, that's gambling, right?
Yeah.
You're gambling your money. You're reading news. I must read news to make money. Come on. So for me, trading was never something I looked into. I was always against it. Obviously, I think down the line I've been a bit persuaded by people, but no. Other than the online high ticket space, I never tried anything else. This was my first attempt. I was always, like I say, I left school, got a job immediately. I never went to go study. I never saw the value in studying for myself personally, honestly. I know others will say differently. For me, I come from a family that just got into work. Work,
Yeah,
type. So I worked, grew the corporate ladder a bit. Yeah, I got bored. And
I hear you.
thankfully, like you said, you invest in yourself, this and that and this. I might be one of the small percentiles that my first ever investment brought me across to yourself, which I'm super grateful for. And, you've helped me get somewhere. So for first investment, let's hope the second investment, wherever it is just as successful.
Yeah, it definitely won't be the last, bro. Let's put
No,
it like that.
100%,
There's
100%.
always levels to the game. This is just the first one for you.
This is the start,
But
yeah?
100%. Well, look, like I mean, with that said, did you, you know, in this period where you must have been in a period, unless it was literally just the first ad, it was just fate that you came to us. Had you gotten ads from anything else? Had you looked into anything else? Maybe not necessarily tried it. Like,
Yeah,
if so,
so
what stood out about high ticket sales compared to
um,
everything else out there?
I did come across, before joining Setter Syndicate, there were two closer communities that came my way. So I think you know of the one guy, Jordan Davidson. They had reached out to me, and when I spoke to him or spoke to the guys, I did my research on closing and setting, and everything led me towards start with setting to learn the ropes properly. From setting, move into a closer role, where closer role is a lot more like cutthroat in a way. So
Yeah.
obviously, I spoke with the closer. They tried to get me, wing me in. I saw the sales techniques through the DMs, and I thought, brother, like I get you, but I've already planned in my head that I need to start somewhere first, and that was
Yeah.
like setting. And when I did look for the setter stuff, I would genuinely say your ad was probably the first one that came my way. I did do a few days research though on other communities, but everything was other country based. And for me, I
Yes.
wanted something more relatable. Something, that's why, I was like, cool, it's a South African guy, wada. And I think that was also maybe a bit of fear, knowing that if you're in a different country, you could be
Yeah.
a bit more of a scam. You're in my country, so
Exactly.
maybe you're not going to scam your South African brother. That was going through my mind.
Yeah. You know, the first one to say this, like, it is a big thing. Like, well, look, number one, you're buying overseas, you're spending tenfold what, said a syndicate costs, five at
100%.
least, you know. But at the same time, if I'm in South Africa, you could always take like legal action or some shit if I am to be a scammer. You know
100%.
what I mean? I'm the same, to be fair. Like, I also thought about these things prior to doing it. But okay, cool, bro. Sick. So, if any, like, tied into that, hesitations, did you have any hesitations, like, if any, before, like, pulling the trigger? And if you did,
Um,
what made you say yes?
So no, again, I think I was arguably one of your easiest closers in a way. Like, let me say it this way. I remember speaking to, I think it could have been a setter, but I think it was you. And then I'd asked if I could speak with you directly about the investment, because it was even before you had even said it, but it was something that you left with me, that stuck with me, was if you're going to make an investment and you do part payments, it's all good and well, but when you make part payment investments, the person that you're dealing with won't take you as serious. But if you make a full investment, it shows your commitment, and in turn will allow the other person to commit into you more. So
Yeah.
I remember when I spoke to you, like I was really like questioning, like, what is it? Is it real? Is it this? What's the focus? How does it work? Is it sales? How? And when you broke it down, being like, bro, it's conversation skills. It's working on clients, psychologically selling to them, because you're not hard selling.
Yeah.
And then I had already made up my mind that the investment I was going to make was a full investment, which the tough part for me was, and I think I did mention this to you, it was the last of my money. I had
Yeah.
nothing left. I had no more chances. I had to make it work if I paid the full investment. And that put a fire up my ass. Yes, I know I didn't get a job immediately, but with me having a fire up my ass, I also knew, let me not go take the first thing that comes my way. I want to take something that's going to be worthwhile, something that I work towards, something where the commitment comes back into play. So yeah, I
Yeah.
made that first full investment. It took me a month or 2 months to get that job, but it's paid off because I'm in a great position now that I never saw myself to be in, especially in this online space.
Amazing, bro. And it's funny you mentioned that because my story is the exact same. Like, when I got into this industry, but I got fucked, to be honest. But not in a bad way, because everything did end up playing out. But
Yeah.
by the way, I'm going to do a call about my story at some point in the community. But essentially, I had like $320 saved up, from like a lighty. I was always a
Yeah.
saver. You know what I mean? I'd save
Likewise. Yeah.
everything. So like at 19, I had like 20,000 Rand. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something in that region.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I came across this, the program I wanted to buy was $3,900.
Oof.
So like essentially I could only make 1 month's payment because their lowest payment plan was 3 months. And I was like, screw this, I'm going all in. And I put all of
Shit.
my money into it, bro. But then that just changes something in someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it drives
Like,
like credibility, like, and accountability rather. Sorry,
yeah,
you kind
self
of put yourself
accountability.
in a corner, and you know
Yeah.
what? It is shit. It is shit to feel like you're pushed in a corner. It's cack, but if you're in the corner, fucking get out of it. Work harder. What the fuck, So. For me,
Uh,
it's motivating to put yourself in those predicaments rather than being put in that predicament because you don't take action. Because then you're already at your wits' ends.
Yeah. It's kind of like that as well. It's, if you're right at the bottom there, it can only go like this.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the worst it's
100%.
ever going to be for you. It's never going to be worse than that ever. So that's also something I told myself. Like, it's never going to be worse than this. So I might as
Yeah,
well. You know
might as
what I
well go
mean?
for
Like,
it.
I'd rather no money in my bank and fucking take a bet on myself than keep 20, hold on to 20 grand and think, what if I didn't? You know what I
True
mean?
story, bro. True
But
story.
same goes, like, me and Logan are not obviously guys, like, if you have a family and you have responsibility, like a bit more responsibility, no, don't be like necessarily
Yes,
financially
yes, yes.
irresponsible. But if you're in the position to do so, I'd always highly recommend going all in with
Yep.
anything. Fitness, money, business, just go fucking all in. But sick, bro. Awesome. Well, look, I don't want to keep you all day. We're already like at the 30-minute mark. So we'll
All good,
jump
bro.
into some sort of like final questions here. What would you say
Happy.
has been your biggest win since joining the high ticket sales space in general?
Biggest win, I mean, I want to say the Bali trip itself because that was expense free paid. I mean, I paid for my rent, but I mean, the rent in Bali for 15 days was cheaper than Cape Town, so I'll take that any day of the week. Um, so I'd say Bali, but more specifically was 2 days ago. I closed my first full PIF payment of 6,000 US dollars. So, that is 4 days into the new month, coming straight back from the trip. I say that because the previous months I was getting split payments. So yeah, first full puff straight after my Bali trip, coming home, blessing in disguise. And I'd also genuinely say losing my phone in Bali because then it actually allowed me to experience the island for what it was instead of behind the screen.
Yeah, be more present. Sick, bro. 100%. And for those watching, PIF, by the way, just means like paid in full. I know we throw this term now obviously around loosely. It's like, oh, everyone should know what PIF means. It just means paid in full, as in the prospect didn't split it over 2 months, 3 months. They just paid everything up front. So you got a handsome commission check of that one.
Yeah, nice little cute one.
Cute one. Sweet, bro. And what would you say is the biggest thing, like on a day to day, whether that's your mindset, whether that's confidence, freedom, whatever it may be, what's the biggest thing that's changed in your life over the last 5 months?
Um, I won't lie, like everybody thinks like coming into this is time. But for me, honestly, I actually work harder now, but it was a choice. It wasn't because I'm in a bad position. It was a choice because the harder I work, the more time I put in, the more money I can make. So I would honestly say the shift in my mind to want to work harder. Because I'd always come from corporate, it's, no, I work till 5. That's it, cuts off. You don't pay me extra, da 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 da. Now
Yeah.
it's, you're not paying me for my time. I pay myself for my own time. And it's the mindset shift that I've created that I'm going to make sure I work harder than the other guys next to me. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be the last one in the whole team that goes to bed. And, for me, honestly speaking, like I've been doing that to my founder. He hasn't really liked it because he was that guy. So now
Yeah.
he's been actually looking at hiring a lot more South Africans because of me. Um, because he can see what I'm doing. So it's also sparked a fire in me to see that what I'm also doing is impacting somebody that's done it for years. So yeah,
Yeah. Amazing, bro.
mindset.
Epic. I think that may tie into the fourth last question here is like, what do you feel like was the biggest thing you've learned that you didn't expect you'd learn about yourself coming into the space?
Genuinely speaking, I mean, bro, as South Africans, we like life is not that tough to a South African. When you experience like what other people, how easy the Americans are, or other people in Europe, wherever it is, like South Africans do go through a bit of turmoil and a bit of like tough months. Like it is tough to get through. But for me,
Yeah.
I would genuinely say like my mindset changed working with foreigners in the way that you just got to put in the reps, do the hours, and things will soon change because you can do that a lot here in SA, but unfortunately there's more times that it doesn't work out than the chance of it actually working out because outside things just move, things run, things operate. The amount of times I've heard people say, I don't care about money. I'm thinking, well, I do, like genuinely, and
Yeah.
it's like it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me how much money is actually out there that what people don't give a cuck about. They carry
This
on.
is this is crazy you mentioned this because you're the first one to mention this. This was also the biggest thing for me. Is like actually taking my mindset out of South Africa and realizing how much fucking money is like
It's
out
it's
there across
ridiculous.
the
It's
border.
ridiculous.
Because
Ridiculous.
growing up, you're like, when I was in school and I was like thinking, oh, teachers are making like 25K a month because I was at like a decent school,
Yeah.
semi-private. Like these teachers that like that's really good money. I could buy a car in 2 months. That's how
Pay for a
limiting the
rent.
mindset
Yeah.
is. Like I can buy a car if I save for 2 months. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
things like that. And then you look overseas, and it's just a whole different. So it's the big leagues. It's like comparing the South African Premier League of
Hundred,
football to the Premier
hundred
League.
percent, 100%. And I'll tell you
Yeah.
what actually pointed it out to me was when I lost my phone. I mean, I had a iPhone 13, and everybody else in my team were just like, Logan, go buy a new iPhone. I was like, are you joking? Buy a new iPhone. So I had to buy some dingy Samsung that cost me $1,800, bro, just so that I could text people. And he was actually like, just go buy a new one. I'm like, you ex come from a different life, genuinely.
Different life.
So,
Yeah.
outside there, away from like South Africans, got to really, when they get into the space, cut South Africa out your mindset, move forward,
Yeah.
and approach life as if it is a brand new opportunity.
100%, bro. Sick. Well, look, the last three questions here. What type of person would you recommend high ticket sales and sales syndicate to? We will rebrand soon, but I'll just say both.
100%. I wouldn't even say somebody that has a sales background. If you are a good public speaker, if you are somebody that wants to be on camera, if you are somebody that actors, like somebody that's just willing to talk, right? Somebody that's got an extroverted personality. Like, back yourself away from sales. Your team you join will put you through training because they want to mold you the way they want you to work.
Yes.
If you come as a salesman and you think you know what's right, you're never going to last anywhere because they don't want that.
Yeah.
So I would say anybody that's confident enough to talk, anybody that's willing to be extroverted. I'm not saying introverts shouldn't, but if you're willing to change from an introvert to kind of more extrovert, come into high ticket sales because everything gets taught to you, everything you learn along the way, and it's not a learn over 1 month and go. Most places put you through a 3-month ramp up session, and you can then also
Yeah.
make your own decision if it's right for you or not.
100%. 100%. I think I have to agree with that. Like, if you, even just in general, you always have that one friend who's just good at speaking to women. Like, that's the type of person as well. Like, if you just had to, like, pull an example, just get into this
100%,
industry.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
We,
I
and
did
you
that
say
with one of
that,
my
yeah.
friends.
You say that. My manager, well, I got a new manager down in Bali, but he takes us all out to the streets of Bali, and he says to us, he goes, yeah, boys, so I'm going to put you guys to the test. I always learned that somebody who's a good closer is going to be a good closer on the dance floor. And I thought, oh, no, come on, man. Like, you can't be serious.
I hear that.
So, yeah.
Fuck's
The rest
sakes,
is
man. No, but
history.
it's
The
true.
rest is
It's
history.
true. Sweet. Well, look, Logan, if someone's on the fence about like working with us, what would you tell them?
If you're not willing to take a chance on yourself, then look elsewhere. Take a chance on yourself. If you don't take a chance, it means you never believed in yourself, not the program.
Wow, that's power. I've never thought of it like that, to be honest, in a while. 100%. Sick, bro. Well, look, like last question then is what's the future of what's the future of Logan Mills?
Oh, so yeah, definitely. Well, down the line, working for somebody will not be the end goal. It's very lucrative for the time being to get started. But the one thing you'll notice in the online space is access to information is so available. You are able to do your own thing. And it's actually surprising how many offer owners are willing to teach their guys how to also become their own offer owners. That's one
Yes.
thing I've actually picked up already. So, genuinely speaking, I mean, I'm not going to put a name on exactly what it is. I think I'm still going to go through a major discovery, but I'll definitely have my own online offer down the line. I've got already a few mates that I found out since joining the industry that have their own offers that I didn't know about. So we've already spoken about a few partnerships. And yeah, for me, it's just gaining as much knowledge. This is not the last program I'm going to join. I will be joining a fairly big sales program soon, probably 7th level, because that's what my founder got into, and that's how he built
Amazing.
himself. And we've got one of 7th levels, I think sales director is our sales coach currently in my offer. So, I mean, I get to
Amazing.
listen to him every day. Yeah. So, thankfully, his name's Dan Van. So, I mean, that is amazing to get that opportunity. So, for me, it's continuous learning. The buck don't stop here. And if you get too comfortable, you're going to get too complacent and you won't grow further, bro.
Simply put, bro. 100%. Incredible. Well, look, I'm excited to see it, bro. Other than that, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on here and share your thoughts and your experience and your knowledge and your wisdom. It's been sick to see how far you've progressed, although I think we're talking about, a drop in the ocean, on the score right now.
Nah,
I
this is a
think the
start.
biggest things are still to come in tenfold for you. But once again, I appreciate you a lot, bro. You do a lot for us. I think a lot of people are going to resonate with the way you are, your character, your background, the way you think, the things you've shared, and it's definitely been a good one. So, with that said, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, from my side, I think just to other people part of the community, like, if you think it's not going to work out in the beginning, just carry on going. For me, I tried. I think I sent out maybe 100 looms, and I had 10% of those were interviews. Just carry on going, and then when you eventually get out into the industry, just don't stop. Just better yourself every day. Sebastiano said it to me once, and people say it all the time, but it's the truth. If you can be better than you were yesterday by one small percentage, you are doing something right. And don't discredit yourself when shit don't go to plan. Sometimes it's not your fault.
Yeah, 100%. Sick, bro. That's a good way to end it off. Thank you so much once again, and yeah,
Sweet,
I'll
brother.
see everyone watching in the next one.
Sweet,
Cheers.
King. Appreciate your time. Thanks.